2025 Nissan Murano with 21 miles on it. We are looking at it for this light, the malfunction, the master light, and this ADAS stuff. We've got two codes. One in the sonar is going to be our good code here. Corner sensor right front, one time, that means it's active. If I do try to clear it, it comes right back. This code here more than likely is a tattletale, which it is. It's kind of a finger pointing deal. I've already played Swaptronics with the sensor. I swapped the right front one with the left front one. No change. It'd be a kind of a boring video if Swaptronics fixed this thing. So we're going to go through the paces, try to get this thing figured out. And let me show you guys. I use the Pico NVH kit with the microphone attachment. It works pretty good for checking the signals. I'll go through the setup on that, and then we're going to start checking signals and try to figure this thing out. Usually when I get brand new cars with problems like this, I usually find wire connection issues, plug not plugged all the way in, a pin pushed out. It's usually something along those lines. So I'm not expecting anything different on this one, but we're going to get to the bottom of it. Alright, so we got a sonar problem on a brand new vehicle. It's always fun and exciting. Before I start showing you the in-shop videos, I want to show you exactly where I was hooked up. The first little video you're going to see, I was hooked up here at the signal wire on the right outer. That's my bad one. And I'm comparing it to the signal on the left outer, which is here. I'm checking at the sensors to begin with. These little guys have common powers and common grounds. All that's been tested. I didn't really film that. My theory is the power comes through and then back up here, and then this control unit manipulates this signal wire. You'll see on the scope screen, on the good one, I've got like a pulsed signal, and I didn't really zoom in on it, but I did mention this, that the signal on the bad one is flatlined. It is flatlined, but it's flatlined at system voltage. So it's about 12 volts because I'm checking with the key on. One thing I did notice, if I unplug this, I of course have my voltage on 1, but there's no voltage on 2 on the harness side. So the voltage that's present, it has to be plugged in. So I'm thinking the voltage is going through and is manipulated by the sonar control unit. So that's a little backstory on the first little video, and I will break back in and show you my next hookup. Okay, so this is the one that's not working, right front. I'm back probed into the signal wire. Powers and grounds test fine. It's a 3-wire sensor. I'm in the signal wire. This is my control. I'm in the signal wire. This is the left front. It works fine. Key is on. This one works fine. This one's flatlined. There's no pulsing happening from the computer. Now, one thing neat about this, and you can see this microphone's pretty sensitive. It's picking my voice up. Sonar sensors are ultrasonic. The microphone will pick them up, and then you can measure the hertz that they work on. We'll do all that. I can show you all that back at the house. We're using the NVH kit. You can use any channel. It has to go into B, and I'm using an AC coupling. You don't have to do that. I just do it because it centers it better on the screen. Now I'm going to put this in front of one down here that's working. This one works fine. I'm going to put that there. See the very uniform signal. Now I'm going to leave you on the screen, and I'm going to put you down here on the one I have back probed. Good and bad. We're going to start with the good. It's a very, very uniform signal here, and if you zoom way in on that, you can actually measure the frequency, and you can tell it's clocked. It's very, very precise. Now I'm going to hit the scope again, and I'll show you the other one, the one I'm trying to fix. We already see the problem here, but I'll show you that it's not producing a signal. So you can see right in here, there's no signal, and obviously that flat line's a problem. This thing is very, very sensitive. Like, this is just me fumbling around with it, but we'll zoom in on these signals later. I gotta find another spot to test this system. I'm at the sensor. There's several plugs on the way before it gets to the control unit in the car. My gut feeling is I've got an open circuit between the bumper and wherever that control unit is in the car. It's probably buried somewhere, but we're gonna have to get to it at some point. So at the end of this video, I will go over that Pico capture, the one with the microphone and the green pulsed signal, and I'll explain a little more about how I use the NVH kit to help me with the sonar diag. Okay, so the next little video you're going to see, I'm at this connector right here, 201. This one is kind of tough to get to. This one's under the dash, and the control unit itself is in the center of the dash behind the AC controls and all that jazz. So right now, on the next video, you'll see me, I am checking right here. So basically I've stabbed this wire here, and I'm keeping green as my signal just to make sure that I'm still, you know, comparing known good to my bad one. What I've done is, you'll see the red trace, I'm still here at 2, and it's showing 12 volts. I'm back probed here, and I have no voltage. So what I meant by having to find a harder to get to plug, now I have to go to here, because I'm missing whatever's coming out of 2 is not getting to 5. And I'm going to go after this one next. So that's all I meant by that. And then actually I unplugged this guy, and it kind of showed the exact same open circuit that this one already has. That's kind of really all I was doing. I'm trying to prove to myself how this circuit works, because other than doing basic tests on these things and looking at scan data, I really haven't messed with this system that much. And scan data on this, although it did have 2 data PIDs for these, they showed 510 centimeters, and these things were about an inch off the floor. So I didn't trust the scan data, and the scan data wouldn't move. These two, the scan data moved fine if I walked in front of them, and all the rear ones worked fine. So I don't know if it was a software problem or what, but I didn't trust the scan data at all. So I just went straight for the scope. I'm just looking at signals, I'm looking for powers and grounds, and just making sure what's here is here. So the next little video in the shop, you'll see me checking right in here. All right, I looked at the wiring diagram, and it goes from the bumper through a plug that's kind of hard to get to a plug up here that's kind of easy to get to. So my green is still the same signal wire, it's just here and not down at the bumper. This is my good one. This blue would be the signal wire here, which should still be straight voltage. Here's the blue at the junction block. Here is the same wire down at the sensor, pretty much the same signals we had when we were looking at the with the microphone. So I'm gonna have to find the real hard to get to plug and go to that one, but I'm definitely losing my signal. And also what I've figured out is the voltage goes through the sonar sensor and then back to the control unit on the signal wire, and then the control unit's dropping it, because if I unplug this good sensor, watch this green trace. See how it looks the same? So basically the power is not making its way back to the control unit on this leg, and that's what's keeping the circuit from working. So like I said, I'm still looking for a loose connection, a pushed out pin, or maybe a broken wire, but we're going to keep looking. All right, so as we see, this is a connector that was harder to get to. So basically it's a brown wire way up top where I showed you before, and it comes down to here, to this brown wire here. I've checked both sides. It goes from brown to green, or I'm sorry, it goes from green to brown. So I'm on the harness side that goes this way. So I'm getting no signal on either side of this connector. So that means I've got a broken wire between this connector that runs, here's the known good sensor we were checking earlier. Sensor's wire's broken somewhere in here. This is the bad one. And see, I'm still in known good up top. The blue is known good up top, and the red is where I just showed you. Both sides do the same thing. So, and if I back probe here at the green, I get 14 volts. So from here to right there, I've got a broken wire somewhere in here. Let me pull this shield down, see if I can find it. All right, so about that far from the sensor, our green wire is broken right there, and there's something messed up. This thing was wedged in between a piece of metal up in here. I don't know if you can see that plastic moving, but there's something sharp back up in here. We're gonna have to figure out how to reroute this. I'm gonna have to get with Nissan and see if they want me to fix this, or if they want to replace it. With a car this new, sometimes they'll go either way. But great little case study. Basically just wiring, and cool thing with that NVH, I'll save some of the captures and maybe we'll take a look at those and do some measuring. Appreciate you guys watching. Thank you. All right guys, thanks for watching this far. Here's our two signals that I was messing with that you saw on the video. What I'm going to do real quick is I'm just going to we'll turn C off. We'll get back to that in a minute. This is what I was catching with the NVH with the microphone. Now obviously I'm not using NVH software, I'm using the Pico software. The NVH system simply just puts out a voltage, and you know, the scope reads voltage no matter where it comes from. I use the AC coupling. It just scales it better. I'm not really measuring voltage. What I'm interested here is if we zoom in, and keep zooming in, I believe we can look at how fast this signal is by measuring here. Because ultrasonic stuff, or car parking sensors, or sonar sensors, or however we're describing them, I think they're like in the 40 to 60 kilohertz. And if we just throw up a rough measurement and it pops up right there, I mean, that looks like 55. I could probably tweak this a little bit. 55 kilohertz signal, which would be pretty standard for a sonar sensor in a car. If you don't have an NVH kit to check the signals, I know that Pico makes a little parking sensor tester. That hooks into your BNC and it puts out a voltage. I think they're like $50. I know Autonerdz sells them. They also sell one for your push button keyless deal. I know I did a video a while back on a little Honda where I was using a tire pressure tool to check it, and I think it was a 125 kilohertz signal. But I thought it was kind of neat to be able to use the NVH kit to check this with the microphone. Like I said, ultrasonic is just putting out a really high pitched sound. It's shooting it out, it's bouncing off of something, and it's receiving the signal back, and then there's a formula with the speed of sound, and the computer does some math really quick, and that tells you how close you are for bumping into something. But it does real quick and in a hurry tell me if I've got a signal. Of course, if you don't have a signal, then you're still going to have to start checking powers, grounds, and signals. Now this signal here I find was interesting, and I may be really wrong here or not, but I'm just going to throw this out there. This was the wire in question. This was the wire that I ended up showing you guys that was cut. But on the known good, it looks very much like communication to me, because from my experience when I'm dealing with LIN networks, one node, whether it's the master or the slave, has a different ground plane than the other one, and that's kind of a sign of a LIN network. So you can kind of see the ground plane here versus here. Usually that's, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm okay, type of a thing when it comes to LIN networks. Now the service manual does not call this signal wire a LIN signal. Some of the manuals will call it a LIN signal, like if you're dealing with motor door actuators or alternator controls or things like that, they'll flat out call it a LIN network. But they didn't on this. They just basically said signal, I think they said 8 volts, which, that's of course using a voltmeter. And I found that's kind of cool right there, because the Picoscope is a powerful scope. See how we're coming across here, and then we got that little hump right there. Well, I believe that little hump is the current flowing, because that just happens to coincide with our emitted ultrasonic sound coming out. I thought that was kind of cool. So let me turn off the red, which is B, and let me just drop this back to 100%. Let's roll this guy down. Like I said, I kind of think this is a network, and these sensors were aimed directly at the floor. I was just diagnosing them. They were hanging down below the bumper, and I got a feeling as distances would have been changing, the messaging in here would have been changing, because something has to report back to the control unit the distance. It sends out a really high frequency, it waits for it to bounce back, it calculates the speed of sound, and that lets you know where everything's at. But if we go here to serial decoding, and I go to LIN, and I hit next, and we're on C. I'll leave the invert alone. We'll leave that alone. And I've already measured, it's about a 19 kilobaud signal. And we'll hit next. We'll do the current buffer, and we'll hit go. This thing decodes perfectly. I mean, I don't really have any red X's on anything, so I'm just thinking this is a LIN network, but I could be wrong. I'm always up for discussion on this type of stuff. I am definitely not a foremost expert on sonar sensors and how they work, But I have seen quite a few LIN networks in my time, and I know that the decoder decodes it very nicely, and it has some characteristics that I've seen in the past with the different ground plane from either the node, the master, or the slave. So those are some of my thoughts on it. I thought it was cool. I wanted to share this case study with you guys. It's basically a wiring issue. More than likely could have found this with a voltmeter, but it's always nicer with a scope. So on that note, just want to shout out to you guys for hanging in there. It's been a while since I put a video out. Thank you for all the commenting. Please, if this is not a LIN network, I stand corrected. But just show me or tell me what it actually is, and I will do some research on it again. And Autonerdz is there. Website is up. It's a brand new website. There's some stuff over there that is different, so hit the link in the description. Go over there, check something out. Check it all out. It's still a little buggy, so just bear with them. These guys are building that thing as fast as they can. But check it out. Look at the parking sensor probe they've got, and look at the Picoscope kits. And something you have any questions on, let me know. If I can't answer it, I will get you to the people that can, and we will look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Have a good one.